And we're off. Let me retweet my stream, guys. I am James Hake. It's 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Daylight Time here in Los Angeles, Thursday, April 8th, 2021. We're live on Facebook, DLive, YouTube, Periscope, Trovo, and Twitch. And of course, the live audio feed on TalkStreamLive.com. You can download the app. It has many great hosts. Best of all, JLP. Second only to Hake. Nice. And of course, on JLP Live, thank you, Jesse Lee Peterson. JLP Live Player. You can download the app if you have an iPhone or an Apple device. It's not on the Google Play, right? I have a nice hand-picked song for you. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to cover, but I want to play Somewhere Beyond, which is a nice LN song. I've been playing LN songs for you guys all this week. Hope you enjoy. Let's play some music. Am I right? Or am I right? Nice. Crank it. I don't know. How is the volume, guys? And I can see your chats. What's up, Robot Moose? What's up, Ragnar0321? I don't know if you're here already. Biden is live. Bye-bye, Second Amendment. Oh, yeah, Joe Biden is speaking on new gun restrictions. Thanks for the tip, Raymond11. What's up, DJ Hardmouse and Proud American? Project Veritas just exposed Babylon Bee? Is that fake news? I like how chill this music is. So, guys, I have some fun actual clips for you. Some men taking charge over down in Texas. Excellent work. Infowars.com. And some women in charge up in NorCal. In a little homeless encampment. They're getting paid to pick up trash. I have the little news report. Supposedly it's working. I'm not sure how well that would work at large, but they're excited about it. The white homeless people over there. And the oceans are kind of trashed with PPE. That's personal protective equipment. Not good. And where is all the plastic coming from that's littering the oceans? Is it just pure litter bugs? Or what? Is it... When I used to wash my paint, because you know I used to be an artist in college, a so-called artist, I used to wash art paint, right? Oil paint down the sink drain. Is that putting, and sometimes acrylic paint, is that putting plastic and oil in the ocean? Does that stuff go to the ocean? Portland is trash. There's a capital attack upon whites. I will be getting to your calls as well. 888-775-3773. And we heard from I've been looking at Drudge headlines just yesterday only. And this old guy, John Boehner. Do any of you guys even know who John Boehner is? John Boehner used to be Speaker of the House, and then he gave it up to Nancy Pelosi during the Obama administration. And she kissed him, and then she had total control over him. And he's supposed to be a Republican. And now he's talking tough against President Trump, our real President Trump. It's ridiculous. Anyway, guys, it is 9:05 a.m. here in Los Angeles, and I want to get started. Yeah, the crier. That's right. John Boehner, the crier. The smoker, too. He and probably Barack Obama used to smoke together. I'm totally speculating and joking, but I believe that those two are a couple of smokers. Anyway, guys, let's get right on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey guys! guys doing? I am fine. Somebody says, Geppetto says, you're supposed to play music that gets the crowd jazzed up. Hank lays out Hank in one punch. I know. You played put me to sleep music. Well, that's the vibe that I'm going for this week. I mean, that's the only vibe that LN has. Oh my gosh, and I have another song for you guys for the top of the coming hour, or the top of this hour, whatever you want to call it. Because the top of the hour means that when you're looking at a clock face, a circular clock face, the top means at the beginning of the hour, or the very end of the hour, when the minute hand is up at the top. The bottom of the hour is when the minute hand points down at 30 minutes after. I did not know this until I was a producer for the Jesse Lee Peterson show, and JLP had to inform me. When I was a listener of the Jesse Lee Peterson show, he would talk about the top of the hour and the bottom of the hour. I'm like, what does that mean? But now you guys, hopefully you understood my explanation. Yeah, and John Boehner is spelled Boehner, but it's pronounced, supposedly, Boehner. The original Orange Man says AD. So guys, I have this fun, exciting clip that I want to play right off for you, right? Right? Since I played the nice, chill music, let's play a different kind of chill. Men taking charge, holding the mic, taking control. Watch this. I saw Alex Jones, the name Alex Jones. Jesse Lee Peterson has appeared on his show before. He's the founder of Infowars.com, and he is banned everywhere. And his videos appear on a website that they created, he and Infowars created, called banned.video. But I think this is newsworthy to talk about. Alex Jones, this is a Gateway Pundit headline, physically stops a vehicle after witnessing migrant children being stuffed into the luggage compartment of this white beat-up Mexican RAV4. I call it Mexican because this Hispanic guy was gonna be the driver, or was the driver. And clip 12, this is about a 5-minute clip, okay? I don't know if you can put me in the corner like Joel used to do. Okay, cool. Wow, no problems for White Chris. Alex Jones, this is the headline from banned.video. Alex Jones stops smugglers from illegally transporting children at the border. And they're in Texas. That's where they're based. Based? And he's a gorilla, says Roy Flores. Watch this video, and you may hear me chuckling and commenting as it goes. It's about 5 minutes long. You'll see the teaser, and then you'll see the 5-minute edit that they put together of, is this real? I think it's real. Some people thought it was fake. Watch this and learn.
Run a human being over. Hey,
you got those children in there.
Who are you?
You got those smuggled children illegally. Hey, we need the police over here. They got a bunch of kids without their car seats.
He was standing in front of the car.
Kids, with the migrants from all over Central America.
Kids getting off a bus.
Guatemala, you name it, right? Now keep in mind, once they go into this facility, the Border Patrol completely washes their hands of them. If they test negative, they're marched right down the street to the Catholic Charity. From there, they're given clothes, food, financial assistance. The debit cards that they have over $1,200 per person on them. They're then taken to the McAllen Airport in unmarked vans, and then they're released into the United States to a destination city of their choice.
There's the white RAV4, and they spotted him, putting kids in the back. No seat.
That's illegal, bro. Where are you taking these kids? That's illegal.
If you get in a traffic accident, those
Where
kids
No
are you
seat
taking
belts.
these kids? You have a car seat.
That's illegal.
How is this Christian?
Hey, we need the police over here. They got a bunch of kids without their car seats.
Sorry in advance, guys. There's a little bit of cussing.
Who is this right
I forgot to bleep it.
Hey,
You have no comment. See,
you got
this is
those children
Christ-like.
there illegally.
You're about to run a human being
Alex
over.
Jones
Hey,
doesn't
who are
cuss
you?
yet.
Children in there.
Who are you?
You got those
Who are
smuggled
you?
children illegally.
Who are
Nice.
you? Where are you taking these
You're
children?
smuggling children.
Are you part of
You
this
got to be legally in that vehicle.
You're not a part of this organization? Who are you?
Catholic
Where are
charities.
you
We know
taking
you're
these
smuggling
kids?
these kids.
Where
Now
are you
got
taking
them
these
in the
kids?
back of there without children
Where are you
seats.
taking these kids? Sir, identify.
This is the massive smuggling.
This is literally human smuggling. These are children. Where are you taking these kids?
And now,
Sir, where are you
He's trying to
taking
back
these
up.
kids?
they don't even have car seats.
Sir,
They don't have their seatbelts
their
on.
seatbelts aren't even on.
They
Where are
break
you
all
taking
laws.
these children?
They do
Sir,
what they want.
identify yourself. Who are you?
Oh, little kids.
I'll tell you right fucking
Who do you work for?
Whoa.
Are you a part of this organization?
No, sir. I don't know.
So you don't know where these kids are going?
They're going to check the COVID over there.
No, they came from over there. They're not being checked for COVID. So you don't know who you
I
work
need to
for?
call the police.
We need to
He's
call
kinda
the
playing
police
dumb.
right now. I want to know where these kids are going.
You are violating state law. You have children.
They're not going there. You're not making any sense, sir. Identify yourself. Who are you?
Kids out of that back, man. If somebody rear ends you, those kids are gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
Who are these kids?
I don't know, sir. They go
Like
to
them
the
down right there.
They
Get
go
the
to
cops. Where did you get
He's
them
just
from?
pointing anywhere.
the church.
From the church. Where's the church?
San Juan Church.
Okay, so we just want to make sure that this is all good, okay, sir? I understand you're probably trying to help, at least appearing to, but you literally have a bunch of kids in here, a bunch of minors, all by yourself.
Okay, the police is here.
Oh, the little girl has a smartphone.
No seatbelt, no anything. Yeah, they're
Look at
plowed
this
in the
cop.
back.
Major face mask.
What's your name, sir? Do you have your ID on you? Or your driver's license?
Your human smuggling's gonna stop, creep.
So you're cool with human smuggling?
Nice.
Yes,
You
sir.
don't care about Hispanics?
Your human smuggler's gonna stop, creep.
These kids are being human trafficked on a daily basis.
Alex Jones may cuss, but not in this video.
These people are being human trafficked and raped. They're being
Bystanders.
raped. They're being raped. They're being human trafficked. They're being human smuggled.
How do you know? How do you know?
How do I know? It's happening on a daily basis at the southern border.
You doing that?
Women are
How do
being
you
raped.
know?
Go to the southern border.
That's the mom?
My bad for the
All
cussing.
sorts of fucked up.
My bad. Sorry about
Do
that.
not care.
All sorts of bleeped up.
Good.
So Texas.
Hold on, mom. Toma una foto.
Look at the kids. So finally the police come over. And they're asking the guy about it, who has a staff thing on him.
If I drove around with 3 of my kids in the back of the car, I'd get arrested.
That's right, Alex.
No. Better than them not dying. Really?
Dumb liberals.
This is ridiculous. This is not how you deal with children.
Now they're taking the kids out of the
You
vehicle.
stuff them
Those
in
of
the
you
back
listening
of a
on
car.
audio
What the hell's
podcasts.
the matter with you? No
Look
car
at the
seats.
little kids.
What
Aw,
organization is this? I
let
wanna
them
know who
stay.
the hell this is. Stuffing kids in the back of a car without any
No, they got to
seatbelts
go
on.
back.
What kind of Catholic organization is this?
That's right.
Jesus stuffs people in the back of a car? You should be ashamed of yourselves. Every single one of you.
Right on. Band.video, thank you. Doing the Lord's work. By the way, I'm wearing my t-shirt from Jesse Lee Peterson's store. Tom like a mug with Jesse Lee Peterson. Because there was a black caller who was all mad at JLP. And he said, you Tom like a mug. And mug, I learned from Joel Friday, no longer here, that mug is short for mother boop. But blacks are so clever that they come up with cool slang. Like every single year, and 20 years later, we adopt it. Yeah, so clever. So, the Gateway Pundit reports, while documenting the border crisis, Jones and his crew apparently witnessed a man shoving several very young children, and they were young children, little brown children, into the I believe it's Cassandra Fairbanks who reported on this, of the Gateway Pundit. The luggage compartment in the back of his vehicle. It's a RAV4. You open the back hatch wide, like a sideways door, and stuff them in. No seats. Well, some of them were on seats. One little girl, I don't even think she was 14. I think she was 9 maybe. Had her smartphone sitting in the front seat. But according to InfoWars, the children were being taken from the dirt floor child camp under the International Bridge in McAllen, Texas, to a processing camp in Donna, Texas. Migrants were then moved to a COVID processing center in downtown McAllen before being brought to Catholic Charities of the Rio Grande Valley, RGV, Rio Grande Valley. That's a famous area, chock full of migrants. The charity, according to the InfoWars report, look, there's a screenshot of the video where Alex Jones is literally like shoving against the car as he's trying to drive forward. And one of the other guys says, "You're trying to drive over a human being," as in Alex Jones. Imagine if the car just tried to go. Woo, that would have been rough. The InfoWars report said that this charity provides the illegal migrants with airplane or bus tickets to any city they choose in the U.S. and a debit card, as you heard, as the guy was describing, as these illegals were jumping off a bus, a debit card with $1,200 per person. I don't like these Catholic charities. Deport them, too. They are then transported by staff to the airport or bus station. On their website, they claim to have assisted over 23,000 individuals who have illegally traveled into this country. What a mess. Rewarding bad behavior, rewarding evil. Enabling evil, honestly, because this is part of the whole system that's run by these cartels and all this madness. And then we have to deal with them. And these cute little kids grow up to be angry, anti-American, anti-white, crying racism against your white children. People. Little thugs or little educated thugs. Even when they're educated, they're even worse, really. The educated ones are even worse than the uneducated criminals. InfoWars reports 3 of these children were loaded into the luggage compartment where no seatbelts were present. Well, I used to do that with one of my best friends. And his mother died a few years ago, so I feel like I can say it and she won't get in trouble. Statute of limitations anyways, right? I'm nearly 40 years old. That would have been 30-some years ago. We went to Santa's Village like that, I think. Actually, I used to do that in my grandpa's car, too. My grandpa's dead, too, so you can't get him either. Yeah, we rode in the little blue Honda hatchback from the 70s or 80s. It was so fun. For children, that's fun, but it's against the law now. This video picks up where the crew sprung into action. Jones immediately stood in front of the vehicle to prevent it from moving. He more than stood, he pushed against it. It was funny. While members of his crew attempted to get police to the scene, and it took a while to get the cops involved. Investigative journalist Drew Hernandez was also present, demanding that the police intervene, and he tweeted yesterday, April 6th. 2 days ago, I guess. Yeah, because this is the 8th. Drew Hernandez tweeted, "McAllen, Texas, upon my arrival to a Catholic charity assisting migrants." I saw this guy. Drew Hernandez confronted another woman working at Catholic charities talking about kids being put in these vehicles, stuffed into these vehicles, a bunch of them, with no seatbelts. The day before, I had seen a video kind of go viral. So this makes sense that they would catch them. It wasn't some staged thing, I don't think, like the dumb liberals were pretending on Twitter. Catholic Charities RGV, Rio Grande Valley, assisting the migrants. I discovered one of their quote-unquote staff stuffing the children into the back seat of a car without any seat belts, or car seats. The man refused to identify himself, and lucky for him, he may be kind of distinctive, but he had his sunglasses on and his corona mask on, China virus, communist mask on. This has gone too far, and he shares that video. Crazy, huh? Just wild. Don't you all know it's just one big show? Says Matt living the dream. Yeah. Chrissy says, I had a baby blue 84 Honda Civic. Called it the Camp Cruiser. Yeah, I liked it. It had those lines, and those lines, I guess, were for defrost going across the big window, and you could look up and see the trees passing by, and when I was laying in the back of the, illegally in the back of the hatchback, but I wasn't being human smuggled. I wasn't getting raped. I wasn't a child rental. You know, I reported the other day, I think yesterday, they're renting out these children to pose as families with whatever illegal has the money to rent a child for anywhere from under $100 to like $1,000 or more. Renting children. Sick. That's so they can come into America and exploit us. And we're like, oh, exploit me, exploit me. That's what Joe Biden says. And then he pretends to care. Oh, yeah. I got to get to some calls. Bobby in Texas wants to comment on this or talk about the Georgia voter reform laws that are called very weak by President Trump, but smeared by the liberals as making Jim Crow look like Jim Eagle on steroids. Is that the line? What was Hake doing back there? I was just having fun. I was a little kid. Bobby in Texas, how are you doing?
Doing good, James. How you doing, buddy?
Doing well. Thank you.
Awesome. Man, I was just calling in. I was watching that video you were playing. Man, that makes me furious.
Yeah.
That's going on in Texas, I'll be honest. Like, that makes me so mad.
And these are not honest people. That guy was, that Hispanic guy who was the driver, he looked like he was playing dumb. Like, you know.
Oh, my God, yeah, just babbling, like, oh, over there.
Right.
Over there. A church, a good place. Oh, a great place.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
They're all about the hookup.
Man.
I know a lot of these people. I grew up with these people, and they're up for the hookup. Are you playing do you have the show going in the background?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I have to turn it off to call.
They're all about the hookup, and they will sneak you in anywhere or sneak in themselves anywhere and cheat and lie, and it's fine. And they're Christians. They call themselves Christians. What a mess.
Yeah. It bothers me. And then I just called I was listening yesterday. I was busy working with my cattle yesterday, so I didn't get a call in. But you had the fella calling. Oh, before I get on that, when you were saying you were riding in the back of the car with no seatbelt, it wasn't against the law then. The laws didn't happen until I was out of that phase as well. It was
okay.
Like, may have been in California, but in my state, it wasn't until like 10 years after I was, past that. They finally put the seatbelts in the back law when I was a kid.
Okay,
but,
yeah, because I remember riding in the back of my dad's pickup truck, which it was a little Toyota 1983 pickup truck. I say little, it wasn't little to me back then, but compared to the trucks nowadays. And he put a carpeted bed in there, and he had a shell on it with windows and stuff. Oh my gosh, we loved riding in that thing. Although sometimes he had like a belt at the very back, like he made a seat belt out of a belt and stuck to the back. I did not like riding in that part, but I liked just rolling around, laying down. It was fun.
Yeah, when I was a little kid, the seat belt for me was my mom would reach her arm across and hold me. That was like that was the seat belt. It was like there wasn't like anything else.
Yeah.
But what I called about was yesterday I heard the fella call in from Georgia that was talking about the voter laws and that if he didn't have have something, he couldn't vote because of the
early voting. Yeah.
Right.
But it's illegal for him to vote the day of because he works the elections, he said. So that's a completely different situation from the average person.
And he obviously isn't paying attention to the laws and the reform, because the laws, like, in 2020, the polls were open from 9 to 5. The reform allows polls to be open from 7 to 7.
Okay.
Right? So you can go in at 7 in the morning to 7 at night. They extended the days, so it's like it's not holding anybody from voting. It's actually making it easier for people to vote.
Yeah.
It's a matter of, actually people need to go in there and actually read and not just listen to all these people crybabying about stuff that doesn't really matter, that's completely irrelevant to any election anywhere.
Right.
And I heard a video of a guy, or the former MLB commissioner, and he was busting the current commissioner for his decision to move the All-Star game to Denver.
Right.
So now he's in a position where he has to justify the Colorado voting laws, like, because they're even more strict allegedly than the new Georgia reform laws. So
Yeah,
like,
in some ways they are. Maybe in other ways they're not. I don't know. It's a big mess. It's really beside the point that because they're pretending that this voter law is voter suppression and stupid stuff like that. We need voter integrity. That's far more of an issue than if anything, it's too convenient to vote. Too convenient and easy to maybe even get away with shenanigans. I heard that there are a lot of prosecutions in Texas, for example, of voter fraud things happening.
Right. They just say they use the excuse of it's not widespread, but it's happening. People are doing it, and how do you know if they're not forcing people to do to show their proper identification? If they're just allowing people to vote without it, how do you know?
Yeah, that's true. The point of this is to be able to catch it. These signature verification and all that, and keeping it limited. Then you have it's a smaller area of time, it's a smaller span of time to work with, and then you have more ability to focus and catch stuff. When it's all open like this, you can't catch it.
And with 2020, they still won't allow, like they say, they've audited it all these times. They won't allow the votes, the original ballots. They haven't audited those once.
Yeah.
So you don't know if there are fold marks on them from when they were mailed. You don't know if they just came right off a printing press and they're just like running them through. You can't see the signature because the signature is a copy.
Right.
So that could be coming right off of the printing press. You have no idea what these actually look like in the grand scheme. So if you can't see the actual ballot, and if you're so confident that your election was free and fair, then why are you not showing everybody the actual ballot? You should be wanting to make us look like idiots and be like, look, here's the actual ballot. Here's everything. Like anything you need, we were perfect. We did it just like we're supposed to.
Yeah,
and it's all of that.
It's not as though we have a culture of honesty right now. We do not have a culture of honesty. The mainstream media dishonestly mischaracterized Trump for the last 6 or 7 or 8 years or more if you count where he was investigating the birth certificate thing. They smeared our great America's Sheriff Joe Arpaio dishonestly. They smeared Jesse Lee Peterson dishonestly. These are evil people. You can't trust them.
And you see what they did with 60 Minutes did to DeSantis, trying to
I heard about that.
It's just ridiculous the way that they. I'm sorry, but the way that they manipulate the tape to try and prove that somebody's doing something they're not supposed to. It's
right.
You're supposed to be journalists. You're supposed to be media. You're supposed to show people the truth. I remember back when I was a kid, and there were people doing hard-hitting journalists. They were looking for stories. They weren't trying to manufacture narratives and manufacture stories.
True. The real journalists, the people with a real journalistic mindset, even if they're liberals, they're smeared and ostracized in the mainstream media. And you're right. 60 Minutes is a joke compared to what it once was. I remember that one guy who would, at the very end, you would try to guess which eye he would wink from. This old guy. And my dad used to watch it, and it was like this respectable show, but now it's just a joke. It has this black guy who believes in the racism thing. It has maybe Barbara Walters and this Scott Pelley guy. And they had Mike Cernovich on and tried to smear him as just this fake news propaganda purveyor. They pushed every bit as much fake news and propaganda, more so than Cernovich or any of these independent people. It's pathetic.
And then they pushed this public thing they gave $100,000 to the DeSantis campaign. That's what $100,000. Look how much not Bezos, but Bill Gates and Zuckerberg and the guy for Twitter. Look how much money they gave to Biden's campaign. Billions of dollars were poured into that campaign, and it's but nobody says a word about that. And then the fact that they can just blatantly kick the president off of their platform, and nobody says a word about it. People are all worried about this $100,000 that DeSantis had. That did anything and made him any more likely to give publics this deal.
That's a
when they were
great
just
point.
In every place.
Yeah, you're right. $100,000. That is small change. That's pocket change compared to look at a much smaller, seemingly less consequential office of Los Angeles County DA. This George Gascon guy who was endorsed by Black Lives Matter, the running lesbian who ran away from Jesse, and he got like $500,000 or something from the CEO of Netflix and his wife and some other, a bunch of other people, including George Soros and every scum of the earth that you can think of, endorsed that guy.
And how much Black Lives Matter gave to the president campaign, which is, I like how you're pointing out, like on a smaller level, like $500,000 to someone that's just a DA, but like how much money they poured into the presidential campaign,
right.
And God knows how many other places they poured money in. I'm sure they just gave it to the Democrat Party to, put it wherever they need it, wherever, like to keep Elon Omar in office. That could have been cheap.
Yep.
But it's these little, but they want to point out this $100,000, but nobody wants to point out. You don't hear, a word about, these other people that have done the same thing on a far more, sinister level.
And 60 Minutes and CBS, they're so evil that they're standing by their story. They're not apologizing or backing down. And when they do that, it plays with your mind a little bit, or it plays with the average weak person's mind. It played with my mind even. It made me tempted to think, oh, maybe they really think that they got the story right. No, maybe not. But they are on a mission to take down the one decent governor in America who's at least half decent. I don't know DeSantis completely, but he's the one man who's standing against these vaccine passports and against closures. I think that he said that the local governments cannot compel people to wear masks and do all this some of the ridiculous shutdown type stuff that they're doing.
And I had a update on, I've been calling my governor for the past
Abbott,
week and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been calling Abbott about the vaccine passport. He finally stood up and said that they weren't allowed. He was making them, it did the same thing that DeSantis did and making it illegal for people to discriminate against somebody that doesn't have a vaccine passport or a vaccine card.
Nice.
So, I feel like, I will shake my hands in the air like that was me, but I'm sure I had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it's, it is, it's like pulling teeth to get these rhinos to function. And I hate to call Abbott a rhino, but he seems like one, man.
Yeah, he's not anybody I'm proud to have as a governor. I'll tell you that. He's better than if we had some liberal woman, but
of course, there's some obvious stuff that he's probably doing a great job on. I know I have friends of friends or family of friends who live there, and they're very happy with him. And so I don't want to take that away from him, but we need real strength in office.
Yeah. I agree. I think we need somebody that's willing to stand up to the left and willing to take it on the chin, willing to get hit in the face and be like, I don't mind. It doesn't bother me. Like DeSantis, he channels that inner Trump, and he's like, bring it.
Yeah.
I like how he, no, just like cuts them down. Like, you're not going to talk. I'm going to talk. And then I'm going to move to the next question after I slam you.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, he does a good job. I like him. He's my favorite right now of the people that, I guess will probably have a good chance at representing us in the next election.
In the presidential, we'll see. Yeah. We'll see how it goes. And I don't know about DeSantis either, but I like what I've seen from him lately.
From what I'm seeing, he's a lot better than anyone else I'm seeing.
Yeah,
like anyone else that could possibly take that. We're going to end up with a lady from South Dakota. Come on,
right?
Like DeSantis is the only real man I'm seeing in there.
Yeah.
That's willing to.
Yeah, Christy Noem. No thanks.
Yeah. Like I guess she could run for maybe VP with DeSantis. I really just don't even see her in there after her.
She can be the press secretary if they have to have a woman press secretary nowadays.
No, we got to get Kayleigh McEnany back in there. Like that's her. she owns that position.
That's funny. I appreciate it, Bobby. It's good to hear from you.
Yeah, thanks, man. You
All
too.
right.
Have a good one.
You too. Very nice. Art in Ohio wants to comment on these border kids in this video, courtesy of Infowars.com. What's up, Art? How you doing?
Hey, I'm Mark. How you doing, Hake?
Doing well, thank you. It's good to hear from you.
Hey, man, it's just so crazy, man. You know, once again, I'm 34, man, and back when I was younger, well, not even to this day, man, you can tell the ones that's out here, you know, in the streets, hustling, and you know, might be engaging in illegal activity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to each his own. But I never thought it'd be a day that I would actually see the United States government participating in drug smuggling and kid trafficking right in front of your face. That's all that's going on, man. You know what I mean? And it's so crazy that if they gonna be doing that, y'all can go ahead and if y'all trying to be in an illegal business, meaning participating in selling drugs over the border and smuggling kids, y'all need to go ahead and I need to go ahead and swap spots with y'all, because I left that life a long time ago. And if y'all gonna be doing that, y'all don't need to be in office. None of you. You know what I mean? And it's so sad, because you look at that dude or whatnot that had the mask on, that had them kids in there. We all know that the Catholic churches had stories coming up on them how they've been molesting kids.
Yeah.
Over there at the Vatican.
Oh yeah, that's so true.
And here. So you mean to tell me that ain't a red flag for me to be looking at them when I see him, to think that that's a predator in that car, that he's trying to help and save those kids? I don't care if he's Mexican, Asian, green, purple. He look like he's suspicious to me. He look like he's doing something he ain't supposed to be doing to me.
Yeah. No, he knew he was doing wrong. That's why. Yeah.
Go ahead.
He was being the typical just play innocent, try to misdirect and distract type of a guy. And he was smart to keep those sunglasses on and that mask on. I don't know about him. I don't like to join into the smears on men, right? Because men are really under attack. They're called the child predators. And in reality, it's every bit as much women as men doing that.
Yes, it is.
And
yes, it is.
Maybe even more women, and female-minded men like homosexuals and others who've lost their innocence and they're trying to get it back, and they just end up exploiting and being evil. But yeah, he didn't look like he was an innocent man who was confident in doing his job right.
Yes, sir. But you know what else I noticed that the liberal and the Democrats and the Rhino Republicans are doing with these masks? They ain't for no dang on safety. All this mask stuff was promoted or whatnot, allegedly as like you go to a McDonald's and you get you a hamburger. That ain't nothing. You get a fry. The mask ain't nothing but just a part of with the COVID. So people, while they doing illegal stuff, they could be covering up their face. Alleged with the riots. And now you look at this on that border.
Yep. I agree with that.
He using that to hide his face, so you wouldn't be able to tell his facial structure only from the top or whatnot. And it's just so. I don't want to act like a liberal beta female with the it's so sad, but I'm just flabbergasted how they ain't shutting this nonsense down at the border. I mean, it might not be that big, but it is big.
Right.
If you keep letting it surge and them keep coming over here. And then I'm surprised that the American people, y'all selling out y'all's country for $1,600.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're talking about what are you talking about? The stimulus or what?
The stimulus and that $100,000. Whatever you was talking about, the $100,000, that ain't nothing. You selling your soul for
it. I know.
A damn cheese sandwich cut down the middle, dressed all the way up, lettuce, tomato, and onion. You know what I mean? That's what you selling America out for.
Yeah.
$100,000. That's the going rate, especially for some for some Negroes or some Native Americans.
Right.
And in the whites that had their forefathers was over here that passed the amendments and with the Constitution.
Yeah.
Now, I ain't think that they expect their generations and generations of kids to be selling America out for nothing.
I know.
Let alone some $100,000 and a $1,400 funky stimulus check.
Right. Yeah. No, I hear that the polls show that most Americans are happy with this stimulus thing and with Biden's handling of the coronavirus. I bet you when stuff closes up again, if stuff closes up again, God forbid, but it seems like a whole lot of other countries are closing up their stuff again, or areas, they're not going to be happy again. And they're going to start, I don't know if they'll be smart enough to start blaming Joe Biden, but he was for the shutdowns, and he's been for the shutdowns and being overprotective like a mama. So
yeah. Well, you can't blame him.
True.
You can't blame him too much, cause y'all all you dummies who voted for Sleazy Joe. You got a major bed now, lay in it, and you don't expect for us to feel bad for you.
Right.
Even though we suffering just as much as you are from the nonsense that you promoting and voting in the office. There's people that don't actually support any of this stuff, and we actually suffering.
Yeah.
Because of the stuff that y'all trying to push into legislation and let happen over here on American soil.
Well, hopefully we can all be saving our money and investing and setting up our lives so that when stuff like this happens, we're not hit as hard as the rest of the world.
Yeah, and then I've seen some allegedly with the elections and whatnot, where they doing something, I think, with the Maricopa County, where they trying to basically signature verify.
Yeah.
And they trying to say that, I guess, allegedly from what I'm hearing and understanding, that the Libs is trying to hold them back from actually verifying the signatures because they just want to run the same count that doesn't verify them. So meaning that is just still elect Joe Biden, but the conservatives and the ones fighting for Trump, they trying to get them verified so you can actually show that a lot of those votes that Joe Biden did get, they were fraudulent.
Interesting. Yeah, it may be.
And in Atlanta, I heard too. That's why you hearing all this stuff with this them moving that baseball arena. Greasy chicken neck Stacey Abrams, liberal Negro self need to sit herself down because she ain't doing nothing but hurting her own people. And after a while, just like I said a while ago on your show, people gonna start waking up, and when they start waking up, they gonna take it out on the people who actually are doing this. Meaning Stacey Abrams, you can only fool the people for so long, and once they wake up, they gonna turn on you.
I hope so.
Hey,
yeah.
God bless you, Hake, man.
Thank you, Art.
And then what's up with Nick, Chris, and then I was talking to Daniel when he answered the phone. I'm like, man, that man sound like Nick. I'm like, man, what is that, Nick's twin brother or something?
Almost. They may be related.
Let me check. I wonder what that man's hair look like, man. I wonder if he got that. I wonder if he got hair like Hake.
He has good hair. He does have good hair. Very good hair.
He said he got good hair. He got good hair. Hey, but nah, I heard them. They be here in the chat tearing you up talking about, man, when Holly and Hake get married.
That's funny.
Like, man, quit pressing Hake, man. We know we in love, but Hake, all I gotta say, is when she packing you lunch, just make sure she make me a sandwich too. You know,
nice.
Just make sure she make me one too, because I be hungry or whatnot when I be over here sitting and listening to you. So I need something to snack on.
All right, Art. Appreciate it, man. Good to hear from you.
All right, buddy. Yes, sir.
Right. Take care. Very interesting. Hot Computer Smell with the super chat on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. Says defund DHS. That's the Department of Homeland Security. The fox guarding the hen house. Homeland insecurity. And it's not even our homeland anymore. It's ridiculous. I agree. Defund DHS. Defund the Department of Education too while you're at it. But don't shut down ICE. But replace them with bring whites to ICE. And then if the immigrants don't speak English, send them back. No questions asked. Right? And if they do speak English, that means they're scammers, and so send them back. Anyway, my uncle has said that before. He's worked in that industry a bit, and he said that the ones who don't speak English you can trust them more because the ones who do speak English are going to rob you. Exceptions to the rule, right? Hot Computer Smell with another super chat on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. Says, Hake, could you say dead, 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 the way that Biden did on the Breakfast Club? Yes. I might have that drop. Do I have that drop or that clip? Biden saying dead, 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 dead. Biden, so, what is that word? So morbid. Such a drama queen. Drama princess. What a mess. Thank you guys for the support. I cannot get support on dlive.tv/The Hake Report, but you can support JLP on that platform. I guess I'm too edgy. Where are you at? To use the improper English. JLP? Family friendly JLP. That's him. Nice. Which is true. Let me get quickly to Justin in Michigan. Justin, how are you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Good.
Nice.
I just saw Biden on TV.
Yeah.
I just wanted to tell you that
He's coming for everyone's guns.
Much better. Your phone sounds great right now.
Great. He's coming for everyone's guns. He just said he will sign executive orders. In the next 30 days, you won't be able to have high-capacity clips that are it's 30-shot clips, just like California.
Uh-huh.
You won't be able to make your own guns as you have been able to ever since 1776. I mean, the Civil War. The South had to build a lot of their guns.
Yeah.
If you ever see a lot of the old, I mean, you can see the old guns, right? They're like homemade, and a lot
That's
of
awesome.
them. And so we're not allowed to make our own guns. And now he's going to make gun sellers reliable for their guns that they sell. So if you shoot someone, the gun seller will be sued.
Yeah.
So the gun sellers are no longer going to sell those guns, and you can't make those guns.
That's ridiculous.
So
that's so
you won't
evil.
have those guns, and these illegal immigrants are coming up, and they don't care about laws. They have broken more laws. The government of this country has taken more weapons from people who break minor laws.
Mm-hmm.
They will take your guns, but these people that are coming up, they kill people, they rob people, they rape people, and they're coming up, and they're coming for your guns. The FBI's are crooked, and they're going to use these police against us now. These Democrat leaders. These good police who we love and we stand up for, these Trump supporters, now they're going to try to use against us. I'm not going to back down from these people. Yeah. And I don't want any of you to back down either. And that's why I called. I don't even want to, I didn't want to come and say my opinion too much, but I know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And you know what they're doing. And we can't let it happen. We can't let it happen.
What you just described is evil, and I'm not surprised to hear it, really, because by hook or by crook, they want to take them away. They're using banks to go after gun manufacturers and gun sellers, and PayPal and Square. These supposedly small business friendly that helps you swipe the credit cards and process credit cards and stuff on the cheap. They are not dealing with any business related to the gun industry. And, you mentioned lawsuits. These people, if you're a homeowner and you defend your home and shoot a home invader, sometimes those home invaders, I may be exaggerating, but I don't think I am, can sue you, the innocent person.
You're correct. You're correct. And also, I know a case of someone that was in somebody's house, and someone came and scared him out with a gun. And when this person was running away, he was shot in the back. I mean, the person that was house it was shot him in the back. I mean, who knows? I mean, it's just all in the instant of what happens, and he should have never been in there.
Yep.
And he was trying to get sued. They were going to throw him in jail. He got away with it.
Wow.
But, I mean, it's not getting away with it. It's not getting away with it.
Exactly.
It's just defending your home.
Yeah, I know. It's so ridiculous. Like the criminals have more protection than the innocent people who are defending themselves. God forbid you have to defend yourself.
all I can think of is a Marxist takeover.
Yeah.
All I can think of is a Marxist takeover, that they want all of the left to take over. They want these immigrants to take over, the Black Lives Matter to take over, the garbage Democrats to take over, and they want to use us, anyone who's a Trump supporter, anyone who's been at those rallies, anyone who's ever had a depression problem, any of that crap, they're taking your guns.
Yeah.
They're coming for your guns.
They're doing it to, I predicted, and you could just see it coming. They were casting the Tea Party as terrorists, and they're casting veterans as terrorists or PTSD.
Yeah.
I encourage veterans not to embrace this PTSD buzzword, because that's an excuse to, oh, you have a mental illness, you should not have a gun. Yes, you should. And you should protect yourself. And you're like the veterans and the former cops and these people, the 3%ers, for example. I don't know how nutty some of those people may be or not, but these are our line of defense as far as civilians against an evil government. And it's evil. It's so female-minded to put it's so like a woman to like feel sorry for the criminal. Don't put him to death. Don't deport them. Don't put them in jail. Don't make the jail or the prison unpleasant. Let the transgender ones go to the women's prison, or a few of the women want to go to the men's prison. It's so backwards. They want to do that, but then they come down hard on the innocent, the men, the law enforcement, and
that's right.
It's so backwards. You're so right. Yeah,
it's a shame what's happened to America. I'm ashamed of America now, and I don't know. I encourage
people to lay low, though. Keep it cool, because you don't want to get mad and do something rash or walk around with a gun when you have no business walking around with a gun. I mean, I know it's supposed to be your God-given right? But
that's your God-given right. That's
know that we don't have
God-given right to be able to protect yourself.
But we don't have rights in this.
The FBI or the ATF or the police say, they know damn well that if somebody came in their house, they would protect themselves.
It's true, but be wise about it. Don't be walking around with it, even though it is your right. You're gonna get thrown in jail for. I mean, not you're going to, but many people have, and it's such a shame.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely, we have to. I understand abiding by the law and keeping your cool, but when it comes to protecting my home, I'm going to protect my home.
Yeah,
and that's the way it works. So if you're a robber and you come in my home, me going to prison or not, I care less.
Yeah, right. Yeah, very true. Yeah, but the first protection is your alertness and your wisdom in avoiding the problem in the first place and keeping the threat at bay in the first place.
You're right. You're right. And they want to throw us in jail. They want to take our guns. So any reason, they will take them.
Right.
So we have to be careful. And you're right.
Canada put a pastor in jail for having church during the so-called pandemic and flouting the COVID regulations, whatever those are, right? They're not for the decent people. They will put you in jail. It's very true. I appreciate it, Justin. Wow. Thank you for the heads up on this.
Thank you so much, Hake.
Good to hear from you.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Yeah.
All right. God bless.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. You didn't happen to find that dead thing, right? Okay. I may have it. I'll pull it out maybe tomorrow or something. This is Thursday. It would be a nice, fun Friday clip just to show that to you. Before I go to the break, let me play this clip of women in charge. And this is such a funny clip, or a funny story to me. I got this from Drudge. I'm like, oh, what's going on with Drudge? So I looked at it. This is a headline from them. It's actually linking to a CBS Sacramento article. A city, not Sacramento itself, but a suburb, white suburb, is paying the homeless to clean up after themselves. And it's working. This is clip 11. It's about a 2-minute clip. And what do you think about this? Watch, and I would like a second opinion. Maybe some of you guys live up in that area and can tell me. But check this out.
One of the most common complaints about homeless camps is all of the trash that's left behind.
Yep.
But tonight, a unique way in Elk Grove to get the homeless to clean up after themselves.
Nice.
It's an unusual idea, a city paying homeless people to keep their camps clean.
As far as I know, we are the first.
Homeless in Elk Grove can now cash in by bagging up trash, helping get rid of the eyesore that encampments often create.
We need to reduce the amount of public complaints that we're getting.
We'd go there and it would just be a massive mess, and we'd spend hours just cleaning and cleaning and cleaning. But now we go there and their bags are ready for us.
I was shocked, in all honesty.
The city now pays people like Ashley Ross with $20 gift cards each time they tidy up their tents.
Just because I'm homeless doesn't mean I don't care, you know.
Mom always told me, you got to pick up after yourselves.
They actually
my mom.
don't like to live like this, so having that sense of community and pride and keeping their area clean has really shown.
So what's the price tag on this project?
The cost of running this program for over a year has been under $10,000, when we might have run through that in 1 month previously, just doing the regular cleanups.
There are even some unexpected benefits.
What we've discovered with our incentive program is that we're actually building relationships. They're excited when we come every other Wednesday for junk and rubbish cleanups.
And the idea is now getting attention in other cities.
We've had other jurisdictions that have expressed interest in creating a similar program, looking at the savings that we've had and the impact on our community.
Well, the CARES Act and Housing and Urban Development, they are paying for this program.
So $10,000 a year, according to this woman. That woman, the pretty white woman that you heard, was housing in Elk Grove, which is outside of Sacramento. It's kind of akin to like an Arcadia, I guess, for Los Angeles, right? Or a Pasadena, but a smaller city and further out, maybe. Housing and Public Services Manager Sarah Bontrager. And another woman that you heard, oh, your grandparents used to live there? Very nice. Yeah. It looks like both of the homeless people that we saw were white. And they're like nice-looking white people. Maybe that young woman with the tattoos and the shorts is a druggie. She looks like it. But a nice druggie woman, homeless bum woman, Ashley Ross. oh, excuse me, homeless resident. Homeless resident? And then the police, the cop that you saw was Jennifer McHugh. And she looked like she might have a little Hispanic in her, or Italian or something, but she's the police department homeless outreach officer. It's all this female-run stuff. The city pays people like this Ashley woman who said, I still care. I may be homeless, but I care. Just because I'm homeless doesn't mean I don't care. Well, you do care when you're getting $20 gift cards each time you tidy up your tents and bag up your trash. It's silly to me. It's funny. And then it was it's honestly the hardest part was to see that skinny homeless bum, young white man, like packing up his stuff using a wagon and a dolly and stuff. Seeing him, total lack of dignity, To me, that's the shame. The homeless woman, I was like, that's fine. But they have this tent, it's on the side, and it's like this beautiful area where ordinarily you might have joggers or cyclists or children playing, but now you have this homeless encampment taking up free rent on our land. Hake is 100% dork, says A. Owens. Smelly bums. Yeah, I agree, Tom New. Meth burger in paradise, says Kid Combo. Yeah, it's terrible. Teranzo Turden says Oklahoma, and I don't have this confirmed, just outlawed abortion. Nice. That's cool. So guys, I'm going to take a quick break here. I have calls to get to, and I have this beautiful song for you. Kind of beautiful. I don't know. It's sort of another achy song from LN. This song is called Girls, and it's not the one by Beastie Boys, although that's a good song. This is LN, and it is a cover. It is a cover song, meaning it's his rendition of another person's song. Enjoy this for a couple of minutes, and it's actually a longer song. We'll bring it down when I come back after a couple of minutes here to a low volume, and we'll play it, and then we'll get to some calls, and we'll cover some more stuff. By the way, this homeless thing, it's covered by President Trump's CARES Act, CARES, and that's, I think, the stimulus thing, and also HUD, which is Housing and Urban Development, a very corrupted organization under the Obama administration and the Clinton administration, and no doubt the W. Bush and H.W. Bush administrations probably, where it's basically redistribution of ghettos and stuff. Terrible, and they do social justice mess. The great Dr. Ben Carson tried to clean it up, but, you know, you can only do so much in 4 years. And he was not the strongest, but I like the guy. And Trump was pretty good there, too. Anyway, guys, hang tight for a couple of minutes here. Enjoy Girls from LN.
Come home, the morning light, my mouth says, when gonna live your life right. Oh, mama dear, we're not the fortunate ones. And girls, they wanna have us. Oh, girls, wanna have us. Phone ring in the middle of the night. My father yells, what you gonna do with your life? Oh, daddy dear, we know you're still number one. But girls, they wanna have fun. Oh, girls just wanna have. It's all they really want. Some fun. When the working day is done, oh, girls, they wanna have fun. Oh, girls wanna have fun. Some boys take a beautiful girl and hide away from the rest of the world. I wanna be the one who walks in the sun. Girls, they wanna have fun. Oh, girls.
Isn't that so nice? Needs more cowbells, says Rob Nunez. Emperor of Cats says, I hate Fallen State. Hate guys who play guitar in the park. Leave it to Gary Murray of LN to turn that Cyndi Lauper song, Girls Just Want to Have Fun, into a depressing, sad song. Nice. Yes, AC, please. This show is poison, says Maitreya S. It's poison, but you like it. Yeah, LN. Thank you for the AC. Beta song, says Maitreya S. Yeah, very true. Depressing music, says Rob Nunes. Yeah. Wow, sick version, says Keep Me Lovely. Nice. Emo Christian, says A. Owens. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, Skip was hoping it was a rendition of Girls, Girls, Girls by Motley Crue. That's another nice song. Okay, guys. Let me get to Sergio in Austin, Texas. Sergio is on the line. What's up, man? How are you doing?
Hey, James. I'm doing well, man. How are you?
Doing fine, thank you.
Awesome. Hey, I jumped into your stream kind of halfway there with the guy, the last caller talking about guns, and I just had a question for you and get your opinion. How do you feel about normalizing, guns and like open carry more? I personally think it's important to do that because I think that's why people are scared. If they don't ever see one or it's not normal for people to have one. But what are your thoughts?
I like the idea. I think that I think that you should be aware of like good context to do it nowadays. Like, for example, I somewhat agree with that guy Mike Cernovich, who he sometimes has rallies or shows up to rallies, and he prefers that people do not open carry because the culture is brainwashed against that, and it makes the people look like kooks, even though the people who are brainwashed against the guns are really the kooks. We all know, right? But for a good context, and Hot Computer Smell says, I dislike the word normalize, that word normalize. Yeah, I do too, but I know what you're talking about, Sergio. I want to bring back freedom of speech and the right to carry.
Yeah.
And all of that. We got to be wise about it, though. But I'm totally for open carry in terms of the law.
And I guess normalize is a bad choice. Maybe desensitize would be a better, word, because that's kind of what the whole point is. The public in general, especially, more liberal-minded people have been trained to be afraid of, a firearm. And I mean, I have a couple of kids. They're around them. We take them to the range. They're aware of what it does. My 3-year-old's not afraid of it. And
right.
Like, man, you have a 3-year-old little girl that isn't afraid of, a firearm, but a grown man has never seen one and I say man, loosely, but a grown male, can see one and be so completely freaked out by it. I'm in Texas. I'm licensed to carry. Sometimes it shows and people get freaked out. It's like, oh, is that real? It's like, why would I be carrying a toy around? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
That, even here in Texas, where it is, I guess, a little bit more common, it's still, people are trained to just be so triggered by it.
Right.
No pun intended.
But I would think that some places in Texas in the South, it is kind of normal to see people with a gun on their hip and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And,
some areas.
There's a huge percentage that, have one that you won't see. But I think we as a country need to go back to those roots where it's not, seen as just bad for somebody to have that. Like, criminals can drive around with them in their cars and, flash them.
Right.
I used to work in, the 911, emergency field, and I get calls all the time. People, shooting on the highway or, flashing guns because, road rage incidents and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And, a lawful citizen isn't going to be doing that kind of crap. Oh, excuse me.
That's funny. He caught himself before I didn't even think about it. I didn't even think twice when you said that.
Yeah, I apologize for that.
No worries, man. Yeah.
Yeah. I just think it's important to make it not
like
evil,
I like some of the militia members that I've seen. They wear a certain like uniform type of thing, and they're very disciplined about it, and they're very self-policing and calm and peaceful. And honestly, that's, in my mind, comforting to see. I liked seeing for example, the militia that I saw on those live streams 4 years ago in Charlottesville, Virginia. They weren't taking a side. They were just there to keep the peace between the people, which, they could only do so much. And they got taunted by Black Lives Matter scumbags. But I like seeing that stuff where they're just being so disciplined and doing nothing wrong and letting people get used to seeing that is, in my opinion, that's a good thing. Yeah. We gotta set an example.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I kind of, feel the same and think along the same lines, but I just wanted an opinion from somebody that lives in a much more, gun-controlled state.
Right. Yeah. No, I don't think that people should just willy-nilly run around with them, especially in places where you can get hammered for them. I told you the story of this guy, I'm blanking on his name, Atkins or something like that, who he traveled after a divorce from Colorado to New Jersey. His mother called the cops because she was scared for him to hurt himself because he was distraught over a divorce. He wasn't going to hurt himself. And they searched his vehicle, found the weapons that were properly stored, locked, and everything, presumably. And they still he got a felony, and he was in prison for a few months. Thankfully, there was a Republican governor there who commuted his sentence. But even then, he still had a felony on his record for what? Nothing. So we have,
and now he can't go and purchase any new firearms or can't own them now because now he has that on his record. And see, that's the thing with these red flag, laws or whatever, that they're trying to pass. It's ridiculous because, like I said, coming from that emergency field of 911 calls and dealing with people at their worst, I mean, that doesn't mean that they're going to go do anything. It's just they're having a bad day.
Right.
And if you can use that as an excuse to remove their firearms or take their rights away, that's a slippery slope that's just going to lead to, enslavement of everybody, not just, blacks or anything else.
Yeah. And you know what? The people who are calling the cops or calling the judges or whatever with these red flag laws, they're the ones, and the government themselves should be the ones who get the red flag because it's ridiculous. It's an attack upon, it's a slow creep of the loss of freedom in the country.
Yeah.
Slave state.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it, Sergio. Good call.
Yeah, man. Thank you. I hope you have a good rest of your week.
Thank you. Same to you. Take care. Hey, Killian in Boston, Mass. Killian, how are you doing? Are you there?
Going on, brother?
Nice. Going well.
Guten Morgen.
Guten Tagen for you.
Everyone's talking about gun rights and everything.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about how the backdoor gun ban is where a lot of these states are trying to legalize marijuana for recreational use, such as my state, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And basically, they're like, oh, just you go and sign up and get your marijuana card, and then you're banned from owning guns for the rest of your life.
Oh, really? What a shenanigan that they've pulled.
Yeah, it's like the backdoor ban.
Yeah.
They're trying to lure you in. I mean, they have all these weed stores all around the state. They didn't get shut down during coronavirus.
Right.
And that's basically their scheme.
Wow, what a scam. That's why I think that this whole take the shame away from mental health issues is a setup. It's a total setup. Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, they'll use every excuse to take your guns away and your gun rights.
Right. Don't fall for it.
I had a buddy back in the military, the VA, they told him, they're like, oh, if you claim you have PTSD, we'll give you a check every month, and now he's not allowed to own guns.
Yeah. Man, what a scam. There's so many ways to get your rights taken away from you. That's why JLP says the less government in your life, the better off you are, because these people are not to be trusted. They give you something, and it's not for free.
Well, especially nowadays. I mean, back in the 60s, the communists had the long march to the institutions, and now that it seems that the Marxists are in control.
Yeah, they really are. It's so evil. It's such a crazy thing to think about that the American government is anti-America. They're anti-American.
Yeah,
They're enemies of
basically.
America.
I heard nowadays in the military they're interrogating everyone to see if they're a Trump supporter or not.
I hear stuff along those lines too, or if they're Christians, they're religious extremists. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're so pro-gay, pro-LGBTQ, which is to be anti-human, that they're anti-Christian. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'm glad I got out of the military before all that craziness.
Yeah, I bet. Jeez. It's terrible.
I mean, it was even bad when I got out. I mean, I was the fire team leader for my battle station on my ship, and the quality of people they get these days. I mean,
yeah.
If there's any real conflict, any real naval conflict, because yeah, sure, there's army conflicts where there's a couple guys shooting at you or something, but if you get into a naval conflict, that's big money bombs coming at you.
Right. Wow.
And the people left behind after I left, it's just, I don't know.
And they have no standards anymore. They're lowering the standards. They were trying to have the same standard for men and women. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I remember we would every year, every 6 months, we'd have to do a physical fitness test. And right before it, everyone would be going to medical department saying that they got some injury and they get like a waiver. And it's all fat people.
You're right. Yeah, you know, this as the culture becomes more corrupt, the competency declines too. I was talking with this young man who's up from the Bay Area. I think he's going to one of the colleges down here, but he's doing it online. But it used to be, thanks to the Asians up in San Fran, so competitive that coming out of so-called middle school, which is like, what, 6th, 7th, 8th grade or whatever, 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, to get into high school, you had to apply, you had to have certain grades, and it was like a lottery system. And the most prestigious of the high schools, you had to have above a certain bunch of scores, and now they're doing away with all of that. And it's pulling everybody down to the less competent students level, which is fine to be a fairly incompetent student. Like, school is not for everybody. I'm not judging them, but you're holding the highly competent students back, and they can't take geometry and calculus.
Here in Massachusetts, Boston Public Schools, they did away with advanced placement programs because they said it was racist.
Exactly. Yeah, that too. It's wild. And so what a setup. Physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, making everybody weak. And then disarming them too. What a shame.
That's the whole premise of Marxist communism, is that in order to make everyone equal, you have to drag the high achievers down.
Yeah. Wow. What a terrible shame. I appreciate that tip, Killian. What were you about to say?
I mean, it's like, I don't know. It just seems like the whole economy is going down the tubes right now.
I know
I'm stacking up on silver. I don't know if you know anything about the silver scene.
I don't.
But basically, like, you know the whole GameStop meme? People were buying up the GameStop stocks because that hedge fund, they over leveraged and shorted the GameStop stock by like 150%. And they almost put them out of business because people on the internet were buying it up.
Right.
Well, silver right now is currently shorted at 50,000%.
Wow. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. It's like if people buying the GameStop was like a Tomahawk missile, then people buying silver is like an atomic bomb.
Interesting. Yeah, but you're right. The economy is hurting. They destroyed the economy, and now Biden is pretending to be building it back up with a stimulus package. And the stupid mainstream media, dishonest, is pretending like, oh yeah, it's gaining faster than ever, faster than since the however many years, right? But
it's a bubble.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you know that 20% of all dollars in existence were printed last year?
Wow.
And this year they plan to print twice as much, if not more than that.
Not good.
But I mean, I'm telling you, I want to let all my fellow Hake listeners know, silver right now is at a big discount. It's at $25, and if you look at historical records and do the math, it should be worth $50 per ounce.
Interesting.
Not 50, 5,000 per ounce.
Yikes. Well, thank you for the tip, man. Appreciate it, Killian.
Yeah, I just been stacking up on that and stacking up on my guns and staying away from weed.
Good.
And not making any PTSD claims to the Veterans Association.
Yeah.
And, yeah, people just gotta brace yourselves for what's coming. I mean,
yeah. Well, good luck to you, Killian. I appreciate you, man. Check in again when you can.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Take care, man.
Later.
Bye. Build back beta. Yeah, that's what they're doing, Colin Barrett. That's what Biden is doing. Building back beta. So true. Very clever. Shout out to Dark Side of the Bear What hosting, or Dark Side of the Bear What? To quote DMX. How's he doing now? Haven't heard anything. Hosting the Hake Report on Trovo, trovo.live/the Hake Report. Let me quickly get to Ian in Martinez, California. Wants to comment on this homeless video. What's up, Ian? How are you doing?
The Hake Report.
Yes.
Never apologize for being white.
That's right.
Yeah, that homeless video, I had to call on that one. That video that you showed about the one in Elk Grove. I'm like an hour away from there.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, give or take.
Right.
And that's it right there. That's it. I had to go back and play it again because I was making sure I heard it right.
Yeah.
That they're paying, the city is paying them to clean up.
Yep. To clean up after themselves. They make the mess and then they get paid to clean it up. And I think it's working there. Maybe it would work elsewhere too, but it works there because those homeless bums are white. And it's a small town, I think. Is it a pretty small town? Yeah, Elk Grove. Beautiful little suburb.
Yeah, it's a little subdivision outside of Sac.
Yeah.
Sacramento.
On the south side.
It is nice. That whole area is nice up there.
Yeah, it looked beautiful. Except for the homeless mess. Even with it cleaned up, it looked terrible. Honestly, I don't like seeing those tents and these druggy-looking people.
Yeah, like you were saying about the girl, the young girl that was interviewed.
Right.
She's like, just because I'm homeless doesn't mean I don't care. I'm like, no, actually you don't care.
Right.
That's exactly what it means.
Yes.
That's why you live in a tent.
Yeah.
Because you don't care.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yep. It's very true, man.
Like you guys are always saying, you and old JLP. That's it right there. You got a female city council leader or whatever position that lady that worked for the city of Elk Grove was.
Right.
Then you got the female cop who's interviewing the female bum.
Yep. And then it's such a shame to see the one male skinny homeless guy carrying around his homeless junk looking like he had no dignity, and he's all, my mom told me to clean up after myself. It's like, you're getting paid to do it, dude. And they talk about, now they're excited to see us, and we have a good, positive relationship with the homeless now. Get rid of them, or force them to work. Anyway.
Yeah, bro, that's it right there. I mean, that's the weakness.
Right.
And nobody's doing nothing. Nobody's doing nothing.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Like, where are the people of Elk Grove?
I know.
And it's not blowing up this lady's phone.
And it's not the city paying them; it's the federal government under the CARES Act and the HUD. HUD is what's paying it. I mean, I get that you have. I mean, they should employ the slave labor to clean up and not allow it to get out of control like that. There's no reason, I don't think, to be like, for it to be so out of control like this, all up and down the West Coast, homeless all over the cities. It's encroached everywhere. How is it up in Martinez, California? Do you see many at all?
Yeah, the mayor. Guess what the mayor's bright idea was? He had them all move. He put them all, not all of them, but some of them, the majority of them. Not all.
Uh-huh.
He put them at this little mini theater. It's like a mini amphitheater outdoors by the marina, because there's a marina here in Martinez where it's called the Marina Vista. There's a little boatyard. So he put them all there. He let them stay there, but I don't know if he's going to keep them there or it's temporary, because he put them there because of the fake virus. And dude, that's actually a popular theater during the summer. Like, there's comedy shows.
Yeah.
They play movies there. They have stuff for kids down there.
Exactly.
It's like a really popular spot during the summer.
So that's your area, and now they're encroaching on it.
Yeah. Now, what's going to happen if he decides to kick it? What if he says, okay, you guys got to get out? Now you have to sterilize the place.
Yeah.
Like, put the Chinese virus aside.
Right.
Let's say we weren't even in a fake demic, and
right.
people wanted to go back there. Number one, you got to sterilize the piss out of it.
Yeah.
Number two, people aren't going to even go. They're like, dude, I'm not going there.
Yeah. No, it's bad. You're right. It's diseases out of control. Cops were getting typhus or typhoid fever or both here in LA because of the rat problem, and the homeless problem has exploded so badly. It's ridiculous. What a shame. I appreciate it, Ian. It's good to hear from you.
Yeah, I had to call in on that one.
Yeah.
I had to. Weak.
Yes.
It's weak out there, James.
That's women in charge. And it's such a feel-good story. It's like, it makes you want to believe it. Anyway, good to hear from you again, man.
How do we get it back?
Just start taking charge and speaking out and being men. Well, I don't know if you want to pull an Alex Jones, but wasn't that nice to see? Did you see that? Him stopping that camera crew stopping this guy who was transporting children, illegal children, packed in a RAV4 in the back of a ratty RAV4 too, pretending like, oh, I'm not just taking them over there. We're taking them for the COVID test. No, they just got out of the COVID test. Gotta do right and hold people to what's right.
I haven't seen that one yet. I'll check it out.
Yeah, check out. It's towards the beginning of my show, or if you just search it, you'll probably find it. It's a Alex Jones stopping child trafficking, basically, is what it looked like. Some people think that it was just a setup. I don't think so. It's crazy. Good to hear from you, Ian. Appreciate you, man. Take care.
Yeah. I'll talk to you later.
Sounds good. Nice. Let me quickly get to Trick in Montana. Wants to comment on this Alex Jones clip and the gun laws. How are you doing, Trick?
Doing great. A country boy can survive. And I'm haking in Montana with a guilt-free loincloth.
Interesting. So, not sure how to take that.
Great. Well, it just has to do with freedom.
Nice.
And no guilt.
Cool.
No guilt. One comment, and would like to hear your insight on, I watched Alex Jones and this deal with Catholic charities and Catholic relief services.
I'm leery of those groups.
Well, I am too, because years ago, I'm from Minneapolis, St. Paul area, where I grew up.
Yeah.
And they were in on bringing all the Somalian refugees in.
Yeah.
So it seems like they're always in it with DHS and the higher government authorities in bringing this stuff in.
Yep. I believe that.
So, it just seems to be the case, and I'd like to just kind of get that out in your group of people to see what other people have to say about this, because I'm seeing it, and they hide behind, we're the do-gooders,
right?
And they're bringing, and it's just creating major problems.
Yeah.
So, and there's another issue, I listened to your show quite a bit. There's a very interesting parallel right now. This is on another subject between Biden and this Build Back Better.
Yeah. Creepy.
It's creepy because it reminds me of the Great Society.
Yep.
And it seems to go hand in hand with us going to war and thinking we're going to be able to continue to afford this big welfare state. And I guess my question to you would be this, being in LA, is I think it worked in the 60s for a lot of reasons, but it's not going to work this time. And what's going to happen in the cities when there's no more free basketball, free meals, free this, free that?
Yeah.
It just seems like we're headed to a time where Biden's kind of using an old formula. Like
when we were still like much more of a majority white, civilized,
well, we had,
cohesive.
It seems like we had more. We had more salt in our culture. There was more value. There was more small business. It just seems like they're trying something that this time, when it doesn't work, the cities are going to be in deep doo-doo.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. And I think all these guys that have thought they've had it so hard or so bad. I mean, in America, the last 40, 50 years, I mean, you can get a meal, you can get a library card, there's free everything.
Right.
But someone has got to pay for that.
And you know
what happens?
It's just like them to overwhelm the system and to set it up so that it's unsustainable. And then then there's problems, and then they swoop in to solve those fake problems that they created that with worse solutions, more female-minded, evil solutions.
Yeah, the solution, I can't imagine what the solution would be. It's pure tyranny. One more comment, if I can make it, on the gun issue.
Before you get to the gun issue, what do you mean by salt in the? You said salt in the culture, salt in society.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know you're a Bible thumper, and I read the scriptures, but I have some different views. But salt is a preservative, and when you look at our culture because the LBJ said awful things about the black community, he just wanted their votes. And I won't, quote what he said. But in those days, you just had more, bedrock values with family. And I did a job years ago.
Real Christianity.
Well, that and just people who followed moral law. I did a job for Alan Keyes years ago.
Yeah.
In the Twin Cities, and he talked about the black family was intact, and kids, boys need fathers. And what happened? You bring in the Great Society, and it looks like freedom, 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 but it's just dependency.
Yeah.
And so in those days we just had more salt and light, and people who they might not have been like professing Bible thumpers, but they had.
But they were men. They were men.
Yeah,
they weren't afraid to shame you if you were acting out or littering or whatever, or spitting on the sidewalk.
All kinds of issues.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
So I think this time around with the Build Back Better, and the weird thing about what we're dealing with, and whether it's neocons or neolibs, the warfare state and the welfare state are in lockstep.
Yeah, that's true, man. I didn't realize that until you guys started saying that. And that's so true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because all these refugees coming in here, and they don't belong here. Well, Ilhan Omar.
Well,
yeah.
You either have a country or you don't. So I mean, if you don't, I guess you don't. But
yeah,
I mean, I think that there's certain neocons like Bush and others who they're showing their colors with this. I just don't see how the system as we know it sustains.
Yeah.
I guess my point on this is when this Build Back Better collapses, the last caller talking about fiat money and the bubble.
Yeah.
Now, this time it's going to hit, but the free basketball leagues and the free library, I mean, it's going to go away. I mean, it's just not, how do you sustain it?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I don't know I think they'll try to keep those people as spoiled as possible so that they can turn on the sane people and make the sane people try to make them go insane and cut them off and make them impoverished and take away their rights and throw them in jail. And
That's true. If that only goes so far too, they'll eventually start eating their own.
Right.
The guns thing, real quick. I'm a veteran. I'm a Second Amendment guy.
Nice.
I'm with you. I think that there's times where the gun issue for security or safety isn't like I need to be carrying the big iron on my hip, but I actually believe in non-lethal for certain areas and certain jobs. But what I wanted to say about the gun issue. The only thing, if you look at like global gun manufacturing and all the guns, military going down to hunting and pistolas, they're everywhere. I don't think we're going to rein in guns. I think what you're going to do is you're going to make it really hard for just honest people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they make zip guns in prisons. What are you going to do, outlaw metallurgy? So I think that sometimes it's just like what's going to happen is there's going to be a lot of good people who it's going to be hard to have, any type of real self-defense weapon.
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of lawbreakers and outlaws and vigilantes that'll have guns. I just don't know how you rein in. It's like it's like the war on drugs. It's like, good luck with that.
Interesting. Cool, man.
Yeah. It's not going to work.
Good point. It's going after the law-abiding citizens. Very true. The best people who deserve the guns.
That's right. Can I say one more thing?
Sure, go for it. Yeah.
In Montana, we do not survive; we thrive.
Thrive? That's so corny. Nice.
Is that corny?
I think it is.
I love it. I'm corny. I love being corny. Awesome.
Yeah. All right, Trick. Appreciate you, man. Good to hear from you. Take care.
Yes, sir. Yep.
All right. Oh, man. Okay, so I want to talk about these trashed oceans, so hopefully I get to this. But first, I got to get to Zach in Columbus, Ohio. I didn't think I would hear from Zach for at least another month and a half. But our friend Zach is calling in. What's up, Zach? What you doing?
Oh, man. What's up, Hake? I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm well as well. Thank you.
Oh, it's been an interesting week at school, but today had to have been the most probably ridiculous thing I've ever dealt with at school. Not even back for a week. I go to the mall yesterday with some of my friends after school, and I get a nice shirt. You know what grunt style is?
I don't know if I've heard of that before, but I can imagine it has to do with pro-military type of thing.
Yep.
Second Amendment type stuff?
Pro-America.
Nice.
It's really nice. And it says on the front, meet the enemies of freedom and end them. And then it has Uncle Sam, a picture of Uncle Sam, okay?
Uh-huh. The one where he's pointing at you or just a regular picture of Uncle Sam?
Just like a regular picture.
Okay.
And then it has an American flag on the right side, and then it has two guns on the left, and it says grunt style. So I go into school first period, and my economics teacher, which is my homeroom, pulls me to the side and sees my shirt and says that apparently it's not appropriate for school.
Wow.
It's not the appropriate attire for school. It could be offensive to people because it has guns on the side. Which in the guns aren't even big enough. All you're really seeing is the, freedom sign.
Right.
You know what I mean? We meet the enemies of freedom. And so I had to change. So I had to go down to my counselor, and told my counselor, I was like, are you guys not pro-America? I mean, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that was my first strike of the day.
Wow.
So then third period, which is around about 12 o'clock-ish, we go into class, and can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I get there a little bit late because I was dealing with the whole shirt thing. So I come into class, and they have the George Floyd trial on the screen.
Oh, gosh.
And they're watching it. And they're watching this in class. And I go up to my teacher, and I say, why are you watching this trial? Don't we have, something to do in class? And he was like, no, it's just a chill day, so I decided to turn on the George Floyd trial. And I was like, okay, blah, blah, blah. So then everybody amongst the class starts to get about and everything and was like, oh, this is so bad and this is disgusting and he needs to go to jail. There shouldn't even be a trial. So I was like, he was overdosing though. It wasn't a murder. He was overdosing. He, and he was a thug.
Right.
So that was my second strike of the day. My teacher didn't like that comment, so I got sent down to my counselor again. And my counselor basically just told me that I had to leave for the day.
Wow. And because you told the truth about George Floyd.
Yep, exactly. And I wore a pro-America shirt.
Was this the same teacher who I put screenshots of the T-shirt that I think that he wore based on what he described? Uncle Sam wants you. Was this the same teacher who kicked you out when you said something about Black Lives Matter is worse than the KKK or something? Same teacher?
Yep.
What's this teacher a teacher of? What subject?
It's like a debate class. It's not called debate class, but it's like Socratic discussions and stuff.
Oh gosh.
It's supposed to be an American history class.
Right.
But obviously it's not an American history class because.
So I'm showing on the screen for those of you guys watching a white T-shirt, form-fitting white T-shirt, and it says in an arch above, it says "Meet the enemies of freedom" with stars on either side, and then it has a gruff-looking black and red and white Uncle Sam, tough-looking, and he's instead of pointing at you, he's holding a knife. So meet the enemies of freedom on top, and below it says "and end them."
Yeah.
And on the right,
that is
on the right short sleeve, it has the American flag in a black style, and on the back, on the left sleeve, it says "grunt style" or something like that, and this something with the muskets, these rifles.
That's the exact shirt that I wore today.
Nice. That's awesome. That's a cool looking T-shirt.
It is a cool looking T-shirt. I found it and I was like, yeah, I gotta get this. This is amazing.
Do people wear rap related T-shirts over at your school or anything degenerate like that?
All the time.
Yeah.
Like NBA young boy, and I don't know if you know who that is.
No, I don't, but some of these guys probably do.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
And how come they don't attack them for that? But when somebody comes in with a pro-America T-shirt.
I don't know. It looks kind of like violent if you want to feel like a woman about it. I mean, what's he doing with that knife? And end them? End the enemies of freedom? What do you mean? But still, I mean, this is just a pro-America, I love my freedom T-shirt. That's such a shame. Like people are that traumatized by guns. Give me a break.
And it's crazy to see because it's like, I see some kids come in with a whole bunch of, it's like they don't dress code some of the girls for what they wear. So
right.
Why are they dress coding me for wearing this?
Yeah, it's, these girls are dressing more and more like prostitutes. What a shame. Man,
it's getting bad.
I'm getting comments from an older man who you may do well to heed his advice. He says this young man needs to avoid political debate altogether until he's out of school and fully competent to assess the possible consequences of his behavior. He will be far better able to advocate for his ideals as a successful, independent adult. He needs to hide his power level while in school. That may be something to think about, Zach. You may be wise to lay low on this stuff, and because I know it can be kind of exciting to get kicked out of school and stuff, and it is ridiculous what's happening. But he may be right, because a lot of the guys in the alt-right and even regular conservative guys, or even just regular pro-Western, pro-America guys, like in Proud Boys, they're getting their lives ruined on a physical level. not ruined, but made unnecessarily hard on themselves because the culture is so evil against you as a white, conservative, young Christian man that you may be wise to lay low on this stuff and, like Asmodor said, hide your power level. I think that may be really good advice.
Yeah, I think I definitely should start doing that.
You do want to be a light. You want to be able to tell the truth in a wise way, but definitely be wise about it. Don't be all excited and because this stuff can get exciting and it just tickles your ego, but then it's just pointless ego and viral stuff, and then meanwhile nobody's wiser for it, because people don't. You want people to think, and you want people to be exposed to the truth, but there are ways to tell the truth and protect yourself and be wise. And there may be a time to take a risk and sacrifice, but be smart, man.
You're right. Just lay low for probably just the rest of the year, really the rest of the year until I get out of high school next year. I'll still be in that high school next year. But
right.
Just lay low for a little bit. Especially because, this isn't the first incident I've had with this school. This is the first time I ever got removed from school early, but...
Yeah. I wear my Confederate flag T-shirts, and I stand behind the N-word and all that stuff, but I work for JLP. I'm not going to get fired. And, I'm in a room where there's nobody who's going to come up and sucker punch me and stuff like that. So it's a totally different situation on campus or anywhere else.
Yeah, you're right.
I live a pretty quiet life, honestly. And Jesse Lee Peterson, the Bible says, have it your aim to lead a quiet life, a humble life, where you tell the truth boldly when called for, but you pick your battles and you're smart.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to just obviously I can't wear that shirt anymore, but
right.
Unless I'm out amongst the people of the world. But,
yeah. Well, interesting, man. Appreciate hearing from you, Zach. It's nice talking with you always.
Yeah, of course, and hopefully I'll be back soon.
Yeah.
It's most likely at the end of the year. Now that you've told me to lay a low profile, so I'll probably just be finishing my schoolwork for the rest of the year.
Right.
And get out of there.
Yeah, you might be able to report that because it does seem like unjust discrimination. But if not, just take it. It's just one story of many of injustices and discrimination against normal, conservative, America-loving, truth-loving people. So.
Oh, I would never be able to report it, especially to the Board of Education or anything. They wouldn't even take it serious.
Yeah.
If it was a black person though, they'd be all over it.
I know. A black person standing for what's wrong, especially, not for standing for what's right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Appreciate it, Zach. It's good to hear from you.
Yep. Good to talk to you.
All right. Take care, man.
Yep, you too.
Very nice. So, I was reading to you guys about the trash, and you saw those people getting paid to clean up. Well, and Tucker Carlson has made this point, and I've heard it. Generally, the whites are not litter bugs, right? There's exceptions to the rules, but I think it's more of these immigrants and the bad kids, if you will, if you catch my drift, who have no problem littering. And I read to you guys in Hake News on the Jesse Lee Peterson show at the end of hour 2 about discarded masks. Teens, youths. Exactly. Euphemisms for POCs. Discarded masks, this is a Drudge headline, litter the beaches worldwide and threaten sea life. And, I say that's ghetto people, right? AP reports far-left enemies of America. The China virus mandated masks as well as gloves are washing up on the Jersey Shore, California, UK, and Hong Kong. And so this one woman from this Clean Ocean Action environmentalist group, and I call it environmentalist, right? Because they're radicals, you know, kind of people. Look at the people. I have this silent clip 13 on this website from Clean Ocean Action environmentalist group. Cindy Zipf is quoted as saying, used correctly, PPE, personal protective equipment, saves lives. Disposed of incorrectly, it kills marine life. PPE litter, that's masks really, is a gross result of the pandemic and 100% avoidable. Use PPE properly, then dispose of it properly in a trash can. It's not hard. And so I called her racist, ethnocentric, xenophobic or xenophobic, old white woman, because she started this Clean Ocean Action environmentalist group back in 1984. You know, these people, green is the new red, right? Communists. I don't know if she's a total communist, but Cindy Zipf, Z-I-P-F. And I looked up her website, and I looked up the group that she runs, and like all the staff, play this silent video. This is the, look at this website, and I'm just scrolling down. There's Cindy Zipf, old boomer woman, not that old, but boomer woman, do-gooder, started this in 1984. Mary Beth Thompson, the chief operating officer, another woman. Carrie Martin, another woman. Advocacy campaign manager. And there's woman after woman. Katie Tobin, another woman. These are all like roughly middle-aged women, a little older, like 40s, 50s, 60s. Oh, look, a foreigner. Swarma, a staff scientist with a dot in Indian, like India Indian. Allison Jones, another woman, younger. And then they have this dude, Connor Fagan. Boy, guy, that's embarrassing. If I worked for them, I would not want my picture. He does legal stuff. So they need a competent person, put a man there in terms of law stuff. I mean, there are female lawyers. There's another woman, Allison Tully. He's the only dude. Suzanne Power, another woman, no picture. And then this young lady, Kirsten something, Grazioso. And then at the very bottom, there's a couple of, looks like male lawyers. Crazy, huh? All women. And then this light brunette, blonde, red-haired dude. How embarrassing. I call him Fagin. I meant Fagin. What a shame. How embarrassing. But anyway, could be my cousin. Yeah, that's true. I hope not. My cousins are all based? Maybe not. But, you know, there's this other guy, Nicholas Malos of Ocean Conservancy's Trash-Free Seas. And they're another nonprofit organization. But it's sort of a valid problem because they're littering. But I don't know what all this plastic is going into the ocean. He says disposable PPE, which is these masks. I use a bandana, just by the way. And I've used the same one, haven't washed it once. I've blown my nose. Never mind. Anyway, disposable PPE act like single-use plastic. Like any single-use plastic, it likely never breaks down, but rather breaks up into smaller and smaller pieces, persisting indefinitely. And he's a male activist, Nicholas Malos. I think I have a picture of him. There he is, Ocean Conservancy. And he's a young man, about my age, give or take. Husband, father. Trash-free seas. And he says it results in massive amounts of plastics, adding to it, really. Entering our ocean, our waste systems are not equipped to handle crises like this. Is he talking about coronavirus leading to this littering or what? But if you read this quote from him, he says, plastics now pollute all dimensions of our ocean from the sea surface to the sea floor, on remote beaches and in the Arctic sea ice even. The impact ocean plastics have on marine species is well documented. But increasingly, scientists are concerned about the potential threat of plastics to species at the top of the marine food chain, humans. And he brings up an interesting point. And I'm wondering, what is the reason for all these diseases, you know? I'm entering a little bit of speculation, but think about all the newish diseases that we have, like autism and all that stuff. Does that have anything to do with this plastic that we're eating? I asked Chris, is plastic that bad? Because it seems like it doesn't really break down in you, and as long as it's not poking into the inside of it's not skin under there, right? Your esophagus and different things, then hopefully it just goes right through you, right? But I don't know. Do you have any comments on this, Chris?
Well, I mean, the stuff is going into your... it breaks down a little bit, but it goes into your bloodstream.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it stays in your body. People, I wouldn't be surprised if people these days, the average person I would wager is like 1% plastic.
Wow. 1%?
I mean, plastic? I don't know about that much, but it's
plastic,
dude,
man.
It's in us, and we're passing it down to our children.
Dang.
You know, you can imagine it kind of started with, you know, I'd say post World War II is when it really...
We exploded with the plastic industry,
yeah,
huh?
That industry really took off, and, you know, it really didn't affect the boomers because, you know, they weren't using it very much.
Yeah, and they don't care about the rest of us.
Yeah, well, that definitely is a part of it. But, I mean, they started to use it, and then from there on out, you know, it got into them. They have children. It gets into that generation. They're using it even more.
Yeah.
It gets more into them. You know, it passed down to millennials. Millennials are starting to have kids, you know, a lot less, but...
Right.
And, I mean, you can see the problems with, you know, the birthing problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you say, like these new kind of diseases that are coming up.
All these kids have these allergies. Who knows what's causing this stuff?
But, I mean, I would say this is a very large, like, untapped problem that people really aren't even... thinking about, because it doesn't have, it's not having like this major impact on us. Like you can't tell, like, am I made of 1% plastic? I mean, I'm picture perfect health, obviously.
Right.
But who knows?
Yeah.
You know? It's getting rough out there.
Chris told me at the break after I read this that basically all seafood is inedible, basically, because of all this plastic that's getting into these fish.
Yeah, it's getting to that point. There's lots of plastic in the ocean.
Yeah.
Lots.
Wild. And where is it coming from? Is it I see whites cleaning it up. The whites are basically running these organizations, Useful Idiots for Communism, right? The environmentalist stuff, but they have a valid point, and they are cleaning up the beaches. Typical white. I just seen alt-right people cleaning up parks and beaches, picking up trash voluntarily.
I would agree with you there. The right in general, or the right that has any hope of changing America, that right really needs to adopt these types of causes. I mean, really, they need to adopt every cause. Like any of these so-called, you know, you think of these environmentalists, and, you know, I guess I would put environmentalists into this category as well, but we need to adopt those, because at a certain point we will be facing catastrophic problems because of these situations. Yeah. And we need to do something about it. But it's always, you say environmentalist and you're like, oh, hippie, you know, liberal, like, libtard kind of a thing. And it's funny, but it's going to be a problem eventually. Like, when we can't have kids anymore because of all the plastic in us.
I know. That's an interesting point. I've heard about the sperm counts going down and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It may well have to do with all this stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow. What a mess. And they've also talked about seabirds becoming entangled in the ear straps of face masks and stuff. And that marine life could eat the masks and gloves, mistaking it for food, suffer serious or fatal consequences. Yeah. Or if, God forbid, they survive and then we catch them and eat them. Not good. It's crazy. Anyway, guys, that was a fun little show, right? This has been the Hake Report, thehakereport.com for my stuff, JesseLeePeterson.com for JLP's stuff. Hope you enjoyed the Bond Rebuilding the Man YouTube channel. Fun little show. Bond Rebuilding the Man YouTube premiere. of the 2012 church service, Where Does Fear Come From? It's excellent. Catch it. If you don't want to watch the video, you can always listen to the audio podcast, or you watched the video and you missed it, you were in the chat distracted, listen to the audio podcast. You may catch something that you missed. That's the Church with Jesse Lee Peterson audio podcast. It has both the newer, more recent services as well as the throwback ones. Very nice. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Wow.